Time for Expert Picks, presented by FanDuel. Oh, I love the music, by the way. So festive. In the ever-changing landscape of sports television, the NFL's 2 Christmas Day games will be streamed on Netflix for the first time. The games will also air on CBS affiliates in Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Houston on regular cable and over-the-air TV. Kicking off our Week 17 slate, including games on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday this busy holiday season. And then we get to some best bets, which on Sundays, unfortunately, none of us are doing quite well. However, I'm hearing that Kyle and Chris have been pretty good with the picks, especially in the best bets department. Wow, 12-4, Kyle. What do you attribute the success of that to?
Luck.
Okay.
No, honestly, you know, there's just some teams that I feel like this week when I get to it, you just have a strong feeling. That's what a best bet's all about, man.
And he doesn't do dumb things like take the Bears plus the points last week, like an idiot.
That was tough.
Yeah.
That was all about the vibes there for Kyle so far.
I had to reach out to your drug and alcohol counselor to make sure that you weren't, going off the wagon there.
Well, my other choice, my other choice was going to be the Jets, and you're watching Jeff Ulbrich go for it every damn time. That was a good pick. See, every week I come back and I say, there's one good pick that I picked the right way and it went the wrong way. The Jets was the right pick.
You loved the Jets last weekend, but it's all about this week, guys. We got the Chiefs on a short turnaround. We got the Steelers here, KC, short road favorites. 2.5 is the number here. Kyle, since you've got that better record, I'll have you start off. What do you like in this game?
I love everything about the Kansas City Chiefs, and I feel like they have been getting healthy at the right time. They've made some really smart moves on the offensive line, kicking Joe Thuney out to left tackle, which has solved some of these issues. And I think you couple that with the receivers that are playing next to each other now with Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins. They have a legitimate offense. And we used to talk about Patrick Mahomes as just making it happen every week, and they're an amoeba. They have to change their identity. Well, now they have their identity. They've been able to run the football. They can throw the football now, protecting Patrick at a better clip. I just have a lot of faith in this offense, and add to the fact that Steve Spagnuolo in big games has more experience than anybody. If you look back over the course of the last decade, I trust the Kansas City Chiefs to handle this game on Christmas Day. Short week, less prep. Give me the better team.
I'm with you. I just think this Chiefs team, we haven't seen the best of them yet either. And they have one loss, and we haven't seen the best of them. And so we're going to start to. I think getting Brown going, getting Worthy going, big part of their offense. You can stretch a field now. It's not everything in a phone booth. And you mentioned Thuney moving to left tackle. He's done a great job over there. They're better offensively. The Steelers have concerns. What happened last week? Now, they had injuries in the secondary. I get it. But they had problems last week, and I think that's something that's going to show up. Russell Wilson also threw a terrible pick 6. I'll take the Chiefs.
George Pickens expected to play. Doesn't change your mind on KC still, guys, right?
Cold day. That hamstring can go quick.
Okay. Yeah.
KC minus 2.5. Both are guys on Kansas City in that first game.
You think Spags isn't looking at Pickens?
I think he is, right?
Yeah.
Ravens and Texans, speaking of short turnaround, Houston, same thing for the Kansas City perspective. 5.5. Pete, Baltimore, you want to lay it or you want to grab the points with the home dog?
I'm going to take the Ravens. I think, again, we talked about the Texans earlier. I think the Texans have issues. I don't think the Ravens have many. And the one thing about the Ravens, they're getting better on defense. They were awful early in the year. They still don't rush the passer that well, which is a little bit of a concern. But I think they're going to go in there. Lamar's going to push again for the MVP. They're pushing for the division title as well. What are the Texans playing for, by the way? When you look at it, seriously, what are they playing for? They're not playing for anything.
Playing for health, probably?
The Ravens. Yeah. The Texans are where right now? They would be, what seed would they be?
The last
division winner.
So they'd be 4. If you beat the Ravens are going to be what? Probably the 5.
If they don't win the division.
Right.
Right.
Do you want to play them again?
No.
Let the Ravens win the game.
Beyonce is going to be in the building for this game.
I
watched Lamar say, he said, sorry, Coach Harbaugh, I will be leaving the locker room at halftime to watch Beyonce. Just by basic math here. So you tell me how I pick these games? Beyonce's in the building. Lamar Jackson's trying to make an MVP case. He's going to dominate in this football game.
He's going to go watch?
He says he's going to leave the locker room.
If he's down point, if he's down.
What do you think about that?
Stay in the locker room.
Okay.
You can go see Beyonce anytime.
Okay.
Stay in the locker room.
Not in person. The Queen? Bay? Come on.
You can go see her concert. He's Lamar Jackson. He could probably roll.
She's in town to see the Ravens, though.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to learn why Kyle's doing so well. The vibes are good.
You know
the info is immaculate. I need to start maybe
She's
translating
performing at halftime, right?
There.
Yes.
Yeah. So stay in the locker room.
Both you guys are on the same side. Seahawks road favorites, a field goal and a hook against Kyle's Bears here. So what are you thinking here in this one?
Here's what I've seen from some leaders on the defensive side of the football on the Chicago Bears. If you go back and watch all the touchdowns that the Lions scored, of which there were many, TT, there was a lot of, I'm here, I'm not here. I'm not going to be in on that tackle. I have a lot of concerns about the Chicago Bears team as they currently stand. The Seahawks showed us this past week they can compete with anybody. Granted, they lost the football game to Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, the Minnesota Vikings. They're a tough group. They play really tough on defense. I fully anticipate them stymieing the Chicago Bears in the first half, like we've seen time and time again for the Chicago Bears. It is so frustrating to watch them have all their production in the second half. Mike McDonald and his defense are going to get after the Chicago Bears offense.
We got our headline for Chicago. Kyle Long, Bears quit.
I didn't say
quit.
I said it kind of looks like, ooh.
That's quitting.
What are the people with the bulls, the bullfighters?
Ole.
The Toro.
Wait, that's quitting.
A lot of that.
When a guy doesn't tackle.
You know how to make me not say that? Go make a damn tackle.
Right.
Go put your nose on the defender's Vanna's neck.
But what were you saying when they were not
Leave
tackling?
no doubt.
What were they saying? What are you saying when they quit? They quit. He called them quitters. We got our headline.
Didn't
Chicago, come for your boy over here. He quit. And you know what?
Makes me sick.
When you watch the tape, there are a lot of guys that didn't want to tackle somebody.
Yep.
So that's not a good look. I was on the Bears as my best bet.
I thought the intensity of defense ramps up when you get closer to the goal line.
Yeah,
I thought there was a sense of pride being part of this vaunted monsters of the midway defense. Win, lose, or draw. Even if the sky is falling around you, play with physicality, play with charisma. It's not what I've seen.
Yeah, well, there you go. Chicago has a headline, and I have the Seahawks as my winner because I went with the Bears last week.
And I love the Bears.
Suffered through that.
Certainly trying to get them aggregated that.
He called them out
on social media there, Pete Prisco.
Headline. Get it out
Your
there.
headline.
It's not my headline. He said it.
He loves to get you there. Right?
That's my guy.
Yeah, he is. Let's move on to a different game. That's going to be the Chargers and Patriots. L.A. laying about 4.5 here, and the Chargers, of course, trying to fight for that wild card spot. But they make that cross-country trip. It's in Foxborough. Patriots just played the Bills pretty tough. Pete Prisco, what are you thinking of this one?
Yeah, and they got the Bills in a good spot. The Bills were coming off an emotional victory, get back home. There was one of those games. You looked up, you're in a game, then you found a way to pull it out. This time, the Chargers are rested. They played last Thursday. It is a tough, long cross-country trip. It's going to be cold. We know the Chargers aren't, but this Chargers team is different. They're built a little bit more for the cold. They're physical. They haven't run it as well as I thought they would run it, but they are physical on the offensive line. I think they'll find a way to cover this. I'll take the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers here as well. To your point, long week, more prep. Tough matchup for the New England Patriots this past week against the Buffalo Bills. I like the Chargers in this one. Harbaugh's going to have his guys focused.
Sandwich game for the Patriots. They play the Bills, the Chargers, Bills. So
By the way,
not that they're in anything, but
run game wasn't fantastic, but showed signs of life in that Bronco game on Thursday.
Dude, Rashawn Slater locked down on Nick Bonito. When they needed a big explosive run, they went right behind their rookie Joe Alt. It was like bing, bang, boom, head on the goalpost.
They're going to get back to that.
Okay. Speaking of the Broncos catching 3 against the Bengals, and I mean, offensively, the Bengals are just lighting it on fire with Burrow, Chase, and company. Pete, but when you're taking a look at this game, again, right around a field goal, teams that matter, of course, in terms of playoff hunt, what they want to do with positioning, how does it all play out?
This is a playoff game.
De facto playoff game you're talking about.
Yeah, because Bengals are done if they lose. If they win, then the pressure's on the Broncos. And the ironic thing about the whole situation is this. They have to root for the Steelers this week. That sounds crazy. Why are you rooting for the Steelers? Because you want the Chiefs to play in the final week of the season against Denver. If they can win their next 2, Denver loses, that's big for them. So as funny as it is, the Bengals are hoping they win, which I think they will, and they will cover. And they need the Steelers to beat the Chiefs this week so the Chiefs play in the final week of the season.
For the 1 seed, that's what you're saying. So they have to play in week 18.
Correct.
Okay.
Otherwise, they might rest everybody, and the Broncos can win that game without Patrick Mahomes playing easily. So I think this is a big week in terms of rooting for the Steelers if you're a Bengals fan.
I'm not great with scenarios, but I understand that when your back's against the wall, you got to fight. And one guy who I trust in a fight on a football field is this guy, Joe Burrow. He can lead your offense. They've got a fantastic thing going on the offensive side of the ball. If they can just make a few stops. But it is in Cincinnati. We forget that Bo Nix is a rookie, as much as we've lauded him. And anytime you've got a quarterback against Joe Burrow, let alone a rookie quarterback, on the road, I'm going to be going with Cincinnati Bengals in this one.
By the way, you ever get an authentic katana blade from a quarterback before, like Joe Burrow gave out?
That was so badass. All his guys, he said they like guns. I don't know anything about guns. I'll get you guys like a samurai sword.
So what do you do with it?
You put it on the wall, and you drink beers in front of it.
It's a good conversation starter, right?
And you
People
say, nobody touch it. Once we get through this 6-pack of beer, nobody goes up there to that wall.
Well, I'd rather have the car from Brock Purdy.
That was good.
Practical Pete is what you have there. Instead of hey, let's do shotguns and let's just slice open the can. And
Randy Jackson signed Katana.
I mean, now if somebody came into the house or something and broke in, you might need that sword.
You could Steven Seagal that thing. All right, let's get to Cardinals and Rams. Arizona would have been in a position to make this kind of a playoff game, but of course they fell at Carolina in overtime here. The line's 5.5. Kyle, what are we thinking?
Why don't you get on Kyler Murray for crying?
Huh?
Where's the VL for Kyler Murray crying? We're making fun of all these crying quarterbacks. No, it's a shame what's happened to the Arizona Cardinals, because there was a certain point in the season where we pointed to Kyler Murray and this offense as being so dangerous, so dynamic. Kyler Murray could have played his way into the MVP conversation, if we're being honest, if they kept winning ball games. But he hasn't. That hasn't been the case. The LA Rams are one of the hottest teams in football right now. I love Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, and these guys. They've been in the building watching film since 4 in the morning. I got the Rams.
The crying as it relates to Kyler Murray is all the Cardinals fans watching him the last 4 weeks of the season. He's been awful, and just hasn't worked out for him. And so I think when you look at this, well, they were a fun little story for a while, and they overachieved. Let's give the coaching staff some credit. You look at the roster; they're not very good on defense in terms of the talent. There's a lot of young defensive players there. They'll get better, but they're not ready yet. They do have a lot of money to go out and fix things next year. This is not a good spot for them. You look at the Rams; they haven't scored the last 2 weeks. Both games, they've had trouble scoring.
Defense has been nice.
Yeah,
been good.
But they haven't scored. They're going to score in this one against that Cardinals defense. I think that the Rams roll here.
All right. Arizona, those 2 games with Seattle really hurt them. They had a chance to make some headway off a bye. Only scored, 6 points? Then 2 out of 3 games at their place couldn't get it done. All right. We'll take a break here on HQ. But a reminder about what we do here. News, highlights, and scores. It's all here. And the best part is, folks, it's all free. Josh Allen and the Bills can tie a franchise record with their 13th win on Sunday, and they'll be favored by nearly double digits to do so against the Jets. Time to continue the expert picks presented by FanDuel. These are the games on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. 3 in the early window and the lone game at 4:05 Eastern. In the AFC, 5 of the 7 playoff berths have been unlocked. Kansas City clinching home field with a lone first-round bye with a win or tie against the Steelers on Christmas Day, or if the Bills lose or tie against the Jets in Orchard Park.
What network are those on?
CBS.
There you go. That's an honor of Chris Hassel.
Is it?
Can you do his whistle?
Oh, no. He does it with a little side of the mouth.
He makes me try every time.
CBS.
Yeah. Shout out to Hass.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, we're going to hear from Hash actually in our best bet segment, but that's a tease that we'll have to wait for. I'm intrigued, y'all, right? Okay.
All right.
Stick around. But we got a couple more games to talk about here. I mentioned the scenario in the AFC where, again, the Chiefs are on prime position and pole position. Buffalo's got to take care of business. Again, they played a tight game. They were favored by 14.5 against the Patriots, won by 3 after being down double digits, Kyle. It's 9.5 against the Jets in this one. How does it play out?
You know what's crazy? At the beginning of the year, we sat here and I looked at Pete Prisco in the eyes, and I was dead serious. I said, if the Jets can beat the Bills on the road, they're going to run the table in the AFC East. It's a 9.5-point spread. I got the Buffalo Bills in this one, and I fully believe that we didn't get this. They didn't pull out all the stops this past week against the New England Patriots. They will not allow Aaron Rodgers and the Jets to do what they want to do with them. I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, they were flat. They started that game flat. They're not going to be flat 2 weeks in a row. Coming off that Lions win, they were a little flat. This week they'll be back. By the way, they will know by the time they kick this off if they control their destiny.
Movie camera, hey, Blue and Silver Nation. Today, we've got an exclusive story stirring up plenty of debate among Dallas Cowboys fans. Imagine bringing in one of the NFL's most promising running backs to transform our ground game. Sounds too good to be true? Stick with me, because I'm about to break down this possibility that could reshape the Cowboys' future. 3 o'clock in less than a minute, we'll get to the main point. But first, let's set the scene. With the Cowboys eliminated from playoff contention, it's time to look ahead and start planning for the offseason. The team urgently needs reinforcements on offense, especially a wide receiver to complement CeeDee Lamb and a running back who can deliver consistent production. Fire now. Here's the real kicker. The name on the table is Najee Harris. That's right, the Steelers Pro Bowler, who shined in 2021, is being touted as the perfect fit for the Cowboys. Harris has surpassed 1,000 rushing yards in 3 of his 4 NFL seasons and still has plenty of gas in the tank, as he'll only turn 27 in March. The Cowboys rank among the league's bottom 5 in rushing yards per game, averaging just 91.2. With Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott hitting free agency, running back becomes a top priority for the offseason. Adding Harris to create a dynamic tandem with Dowdle would be a bold but exciting move. Moneybag, of course, cost is a critical factor. The Cowboys passed on Derrick Henry at $8 million per year when he was 30, and Harris is expected to command around $9 million annually. Would Jerry Jones be willing to open the wallet this time? Flex biceps, so what do you think, Cowboys fans? Is Najee Harris the missing piece to reignite the Cowboys offense? Or should the team focus on the draft and target someone younger, like Ashton Jeanty, the standout from Frisco, Texas? Megaphone, now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Harris worth the investment or not? Don't forget to share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all things Cowboys. American football, go Cowboys! See you in the next video. Until then.